Welcome to Street News. I'm your host, L. Mack. I'd like to give a shout out to the Kamala Harris supporters and the Donald Trump supporters. You guys are on a straight mission. I am getting emails and texts daily that is driving me crazy. So, this is all like a major soap opera. Who's gonna win? We will find out soon enough. So chill out, people. Now, I came up with this video. I want you to sit back, relax, and check it out, and I'll talk to you later.
No one is alone. We are all in this together, and your vote is your power. So please make sure your voice is heard this November and register to vote at vote.gov.
Can I get an amen?
Amen! Now on with the show.
And remember, you better vote.
I vote for who will win. And for whatever reason, Harris has never been popular. You can count the number of delegates she won in the 2020 primaries on one hand, as long as that hand has no fingers. In 3 years as vice president, she's been quieter than an electric car. And like an electric car, your MAGA uncle can't explain why she fills him with homicidal rage. She just does. Sometimes life isn't fair. It's not fair that she's not popular. She's intelligent and accomplished, and in fact was put in charge of the border. And look at how, okay, bad example.
I am glad that to see a black woman elevated in this way, there's no doubt that I didn't think it was possible. But at the same time, with the value system that she's promoting, there's no way that strong evangelicals should stop.
Pete citing Harris's response to the immigration crisis at the southern border and her stance on same-sex marriage. Also Republican Valerie Johnson says race and gender won't drive her to the polls. Rather, policy will.
I look at your merit, see if you're qualified and your record.
And Johnson believes the past 4 years of the Biden-Harris administration left her wanting more.
Ask for policies, ask for benefits, make them work for your vote. Just don't go out and vote for someone because of the color of their skin.
Kamala Harris.
That's right.
That endorsed this homosexual trash.
Oh, yeah.
And the whole Democratic hypocrite.
Amen.
None of you.
Go ahead.
None of you is a Christian that endorse same-sex marriages.
That's right.
Not one.
That's right.
My issue with her is not identifying with her people. I remember another interview I saw with Kamala Harris, Art, and she said, somebody asked her, what are y'all going to do for black people? And she said, we can't pass laws just for black people.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
She said this. We can't do things just for black. Well, Kamala Harris, can I ask you a question, Madam Vice President? If the Democratic Party can't do anything just for black people, why did y'all pass a law only for Asians? Why did y'all pass a law only for Native Americans? Why did y'all pass a law only for transgenders? Why did y'all pass a law only for LGBTQs?
Okay, this is where I need to weigh in at. Why would you give illegal immigrants places to live, pocket money, Medicare, and you got your own people living in trailer homes on the streets? Skid Row. Man, Skid Row is not only packed with dope fiends, they're packed with people that really need help. Take a look at this.
Skid Row, the largest homeless camp and most dangerous neighborhood in America, with an estimated 10,000 plus homeless people living on its 25 blocks of drug-fueled and crime-ridden streets and tents. But why are these homeless people so violent? How did they end up here in the first place? And what could be done to get them off the street?
Skid Row has been around, I think, since about the 1920s. It's never really improved. LA is a tourist destination. Having all these homeless has been kind of an inconvenience to them. So they're working on containing these homeless and really, in a sense, hiding them. So, you know, they're adding up fencing, they're doing sanctioned camping, they're restricting people from certain blocks. That's a good 100 people right there. There definitely doesn't seem to be any order. Just drove by a guy using fentanyl behind us. Looked like he was maybe in his 70s. I suggest we stop and walk around.
The hotel was one of the last Skid Row hospital buildings closed. It's been empty for about 4 years now. This building right here. So right smack in the middle of all this homelessness, you got people sleeping all on the ground right here. You got empty buildings, right? And people refuse to open up the buildings and run the buildings because there's no money for them. Like I was telling you, developers are not building because there's no money for them.
You rolled out a new phone app called CBP One. They can now go on their phone and schedule a time to come to the border and then be admitted. It's like a concierge service for illegal immigrants.
That language is completely confusing and erroneous.
Well, it is confusing. What's confusing is why anybody would think that an app like this to allow illegal immigrants to literally reserve.
Be clear to folks in this region who are thinking about making that dangerous trek to the United States-Mexico border. Do not come. Do not come.
Serve a time to come to the border and then be ushered in without an interview is stunning.
We were previously experiencing.
So rather than building a wall, Mr. Secretary, you have built Ticketmaster for illegal immigrants.
To be clear to folks in this region who are thinking about making that dangerous trek to the United States-Mexico border. Do not come. Do not come.
Really? Did you just say that? But you're the one that got the border open. What? What? Who's paying you? What's going on here? Let's go.
Like Cardi B, who pointed out that back in June, she said,
I feel like it's very selfish that they allow Biden to continue to run for president. I feel like they should have passed the torch to Kamala.
There's people out there that we trusted. Their job made us trust them. That they would do the right thing by us. That shit is gone. Been gone. Fuck you mean. They want you to do shit that don't make no sense. That's why I won't even talk about politics no more. Ain't shit to talk about. The fuck I'm supposed to do if both sides is the dumb side. I don't even want to play no more. The fuck is this shit? But that's America. We just don't want what we had last. Ten years ago, some of you ladies was with a full-fledged gangbanger. And look at you 10 years later in here with that bank teller. You look like you work at the bank. That's how our country do. We don't give a fuck. Just don't give us the last shit. We traded in a crazy, deranged, erratic motherfucker. We traded him in for a weekend at Bernie's.
Put in clips of Kamala Harris stating things. I don't need politicians to state things. I need politicians to do things. When I met with Kamala Harris after she summoned me, I said to her straight up, you talk out two sides of your neck and we don't know what you're talking about. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Kamala Harris who's trying to shut me the fuck up. Because I told her straight up that I feel like she is disingenuous in her messaging.
Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but She put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
America's failure when it comes to understanding how you create safe communities. And by that I mean this. It is outdated, it is wrong-headed thinking to think that the only way you're going to get communities to be safe is to put more police officers on the street.
Now, that said, I think, and my major at UCLA was political science, my analysis is they picked the weakest somebody they could as a figurehead, somebody who had some apparent minority status, which she does not. And what goes on is that you get her, everybody that is everybody would be afraid to go against her because of what she can pass herself off as. And then you get somebody that's easy to control because she's lazy, because she is becoming incoherent, and because she's always tried to do the casting couch to get where she wants. Now, the problem is that'll get somebody to a certain level quickly, but you can't get past that level if you don't have competence and talent. So my thing about it is if I'm crude about it, in this city years ago, I used to represent a whole bunch of pimps and hoes, and I know a hoe when I see one. And I say this, I don't care, women, you do what you want to do if you want to have recreational sex, but when you do the casting couch or anything else for professional purposes to get paid or advance, you a hoe. And she's old hoe. And the problem is what is she supposed to do? Somebody, one of her sycophant slaves comes up and unwraps her in a carpet naked at Putin's feet, and he says, oh yeah, I'm Julius Caesar. He said, no, I got better stuff here already. Plus, I don't want you anyway, you old woman. Get on up.
Did he really just say that? Yes, he did. Wow. Now, I wouldn't even say that. And I will basically say almost anything. But damn, dude. Like I told you, you get the real deal Holyfield from Street News. Like, subscribe to the channel. El Mac is in the house. And before you check that Democrat box, check that video. See you on the next one.